Hey, how's she going, boys? Mike here. Welcome back to Grampie's Workshops. I'm glad you dropped in today. Hey, listen, I've got no woodworking project on to go today. I've got no landscaping, no tractoring. The project is going to be in the camp. I have to clean my flue. Yeah, winter's coming. It's the middle of September now, and it won't be long before we'll have fire in the stove, so I got to get the flue cleaned. So that's what we're up to today. I have a couple of smoke pipe that I need to change out because I have clean ones here. I keep an extra set. So I have a good clean set here in the barn. So I'm going to take those and put them in the camp, replacing the smoke pipe there on the stove now, and I'm going to clean out the insulated part of the flue with a brush. So we'll see how all that unfolds, because we're going to go there and do that. But before we go and do that, I just want to talk a little bit. I did some research today to find out about chimney fires. It's interesting to note that chimney fires burn down a lot of houses. I mean, I think everybody knows that. You don't have to go looking on the computer or researching to find out that chimney fires are dangerous. But the leading cause of residential fires in Canada over the last, I think, 7 years that I checked was, I think they called it a cooking apparatus. Okay, like I'm thinking a kitchen stove, things like that, right? Okay, that's the leading cause. The second cause of residential fire in Canada in the last 7 years is flue fires. All right? Or, not flue fires per se, but what they refer to as heating apparatus. Heating apparatus. And I tried to find out what is included in heating apparatus. Holy darn. And what I find is, well, it's wood stoves for sure, but then it's furnaces, electric heat, portable electric heaters, you know, things like that. So when I'm talking now about flue fires being dangerous, they certainly are dangerous, but they're not necessarily the second cause of why homes burn in Canada, but they're part of the reason why they're the second cause of homes burning in Canada, if you can follow all that. Alright, anyway, enough said about that. It's important to clean your flue so that your house doesn't burn down. So that's what we're up to today. Going to get out there and get up on the roof and clean out my chimney and change the smoke pipe in the camp, and we're going to get all cleared up and cleaned up and ready to go for this winter so we can burn wood, be nice and cozy and warm and safe. So let's get at her. So what I use to clean my flue with is this 6-inch nylon brush. So I have smoke pipe, 2 lengths of smoke pipe that go from the top of the stove up to the ceiling, and then from the ceiling out is the insulated flue. I use this to clean my insulated flue. So once the mantle is removed, we put the step ladder in behind the stove, and we're going to go up there now and disconnect that smoke pipe at the collar and remove this smoke pipe, put it in a garbage bag, take it outside to be cleaned later. So I have the smoke pipe removed. So there's just the stove there now, and then we put the garbage bag on the bottom of the collar there at the ceiling. And it's a good way too to check the draft that you have, because you can see that the garbage bag is getting sucked back up the chimney almost. So good draft. So we're set up here to go up on the roof. Got the ladder set up, and there's still dew on the roof. So just a tip, FYI, for anybody that's watching and planning on cleaning their flue. If you're going on the roof, be extra careful, and if there's dew on the roof, be extra special careful. Okay, there's the flue. We're up on the roof. The roof is a 6/12 pitch, so it's kind of easy to walk on. I'm going to take the flue cap off and then run the rod down in there. So here we are brushing, and as I was saying, this is a nylon brush that works quite well. So that's about all you do. You just rub up and down till it looks clean. I don't know if you can see in there, but really the flue wasn't that bad. So we're all finished cleaning her. There it is. Put the cap back on. Oftentimes you get quite a bit of creosote build up in the cap, so it's good to beat that a little bit to get the creosote off it. But another thing, while you're on the roof, it's a good idea, good opportunity to check to make sure everything else is kosher. See that I have a couple of valleys here, make sure they're clear.
And also you can check your gutters. Now I'm not going to go down there with the camera because I was just down there, and they're not bad. They're in pretty good shape. But anyway, everything else looks pretty cool up here. It's also a nice time just to survey your kingdom. So here we are. I'm just going to turn the vacuum on, and I'm going to suck the dirt and creosote and whatnot out of the top of the stove. I don't know what you can see in there, but we've got a little bit of creosote buildup. So we'll clean that out. Here we go. So that's about it. We take the bag off, put the smoke pipe back on. No. Working my way up. So I had to fight with it a bit, but I got it in, and it looks pretty straight. Alright, there's the stove. She's all cleaned out inside. We have a clean smoke pipe on it, and the thimble is put back in place, and the mantle's back there. Now the only thing left to do is Nanny's going to give it a good cleaning. And then put the ornaments back. I'm no good at putting ornaments up. So look how nice it looks now that Nanny's got everything put back together. Isn't that pretty? I must say, I like our stove. It's cozy looking, and it gives off a lot of heat, which is kind of important for a stove. Anyway, that's it. Job done. So there wasn't a whole lot to that, cleaning the flue. It can be quite a challenge. Today, like I clean my flue at least once a year. The last while it's only been once a year, but first off, when we're only coming to the camp on the weekends, I was cleaning it twice a year. But my wood wasn't as dry as it is now. I have nice dry wood, so the creosote buildup is not as great. Although I had a fair amount of creosote this time, more than I thought. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I guess it's good to clean it. If you clean it every year, then you never have too much, right? One other thing I found too, we usually have our last fire in the stove there probably like the latter part of May, or maybe up to mid-June even. Sometimes might have a fire. But then we don't have fires all summer. And what I find is by leaving the stove go all summer like that, the creosote that's in the flue tends to, dry up, gets more crumbly, makes it easier to clean the flue. So when I took my smoke pipes out, they were pretty dirty. The top one was probably more dirty than the bottom one next to the stove. But I take those out behind the barn here, and I run my brush through them to clean them. And when I leave it over the summer, they clean a lot better. I get a lot more creosote out of them. So that's just maybe an FYI, that if you're going to clean your flue, clean it in the fall, and like before heating season, so it's good and clean to start up. And if you leave it all summer like that, sometimes it's easier to clean the flue. Anyway, it's just what I found out. So that's it. My flue is nice and clean. It should be safe now for the winter for burning, and be nice and cozy and warm all winter here, cuddled up in front of the stove. I can hardly wait. Stay safe, everyone. Don't forget, COVID is still out there, and it's looking for you. Hope it doesn't find you. By the way, They tell me if you wear a mask, then COVID won't recognize you, right? So you can walk right past it and you say, hey, look, I'm looking for Mike. Well, that wasn't him. Well, didn't recognize him with his mask on, right? So that's another good reason to wear a mask. Stay safe, folks. We'll talk to you.